Hey everyone, welcome back to Code of the Row. In today's lesson, we'll dive into JavaScript objects and learn how to manipulate their properties. Whether you're new to JavaScript or brushing up on your skills, this lesson will be perfect for you. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and join our Discord and Patreon for more content. Let's get started. So I have my index.html and in the body tag, I'm pointing it to my script source, which is my script.js file. And in my script.js file, there's currently nothing in it. Let's make a simple example of an object. So let's do let person is equal to, and in open brackets, we're going to define the properties of our object. So I'll do name, and in quotes, because it's a string, it's going to be John. And then the age will be 30. And the profession is going to be developer. And after the object, I'll add a semicolon. And in this object, we have three properties, which are name, age, and profession, and each with their respective values. So John, 30, and developer. So let's see how we can manipulate these properties. So first, let's talk about how to access the properties of an object. And we can do this using dot notation or bracket notation, just like we talked about earlier. So in this example, I'll do a console.log person.name and age. And now when I hit save and open my console by hitting F12 on my browser, you'll see it prints out John, which is the name, and the person.age, which is 30. So this is using dot notation. And with bracket notation, it works like this. So it'd be console.log, and then we call the object, and in brackets, we're going to call the property that we want to display. So for example, name in quotes and age in quotes. And you'll see the second two are using the bracket notation. Dot notation is more commonly used, but bracket notation is useful when property names contain spaces or are dynamic. So now let's add a few properties to our object. So I'll do person.email is equal to john@example.com. And then I'll console.log person.email. So now you'll see that when I console.log person.email, it prints out this email that I set for John. And if you want to use bracket notation, we can do person phone is equal to, and then in quotes, I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. And if I console.log person and then in brackets phone and hit save, it'll print out the phone number that we assigned to John or to the person object. So now let's go over modifying properties. So I can just simply write person.age is equal to 31 to change it here. And now if I were to console.log the person.age, it will just be 31. So you'll see that it still is 30 until we assign it in the code. And then after this, it's going to be 31 from now on. And using bracket notation, I can do person profession is equal to senior developer instead of just a developer. And if I were to do console.log person, and then in brackets, I'll type in that profession property, and it'll print out the new senior developer profession that we have updated. So in order to delete a property, I can do something like delete person.phone. And then if I try to do a console.log of person.phone, you'll see that it's undefined now. And now we can check if a property exists using the in operator or the has own property method. So for example, console.log, and then I'll do email in quotes in person. And this will give me a true. And if I were to do the same thing, but except changing email to phone, and since we've deleted it here, it will give me a false. And now let's go over the has own property. So if I were to do something like console.log person.has own property, and then in quotes, I'll do something like email. And now this will print out true. And if I were to do the same thing with phone, it will give out false, just like that. So both methods return a Boolean indicating whether the property exists in the object. Finally, let's see how we can iterate over all properties of an object using the for in loop. So for example, if I were to do a for let key in person, and then in open brackets, I'm going to do a console.log key plus, and then in quotes, colon space plus person, and then in brackets, key. And this will output name is John, age 31, profession senior developer, and email John example. So to recap, we learned how to access, add, modify, delete, and check properties in JavaScript objects. We also saw how to iterate over an object's properties. These are essential skills for working with objects in JavaScript. If you found this lesson helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe and like button to Code with Ro. For more programming tutorials, join our Discord and Patreon community. Thanks for supporting and happy coding.